Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be working on a solar. Customer brought it in. It's dirty, uh, running a little bit sluggishly, so we're going to go ahead and do a COA on it, time it, see if we need a new mainspring in it or not. But it is a solar with the Rolex case and crown. Already went ahead and loosened this up. I suggest if you're going to be working on any type of Rolex watch, you should get the proper case back opener and tools. Such as a good case holder that you can put in a vise, and the ones I use to open this is the Bergeron 5537 set, and it goes right on here like that. And I've already loosened this, but in the bench vise, you just turn it, and it comes free. But it goes perfectly in the groove, how it's designed from Rolex. You don't have to worry about scratching or marring the case. So no special polishing. We can leave it as original as possible with just the normal wear on it. So let's go ahead and first remove the watch strap, and I just use a little straight punch to get in there. Got some nice little arm cheese. That's always fun. Try to be careful not to scratch the case when you're doing this. Okay, let's get that movement out of there. Here we are, the Rolex sign case back. So probably need a new seal, new gasket. And then we got our movement. Now before we do anything, we should let down the tension on the mainspring, so that way we don't let the watch unwind freely and possibly break and damage the watch even more. Just hold the click spring in, kind of let it work down. Some will just shoot down and you got to slowly let them release. Others you're going to have to manipulate and go counter winding so that you can actually let it go down. Some of them are dirty and will stick. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and remove the stem. Right here is where we're going to want to be releasing that. We don't want to unscrew it all the way. We just want to get it started so it will release the stem for us. That should be enough. Just kind of pull on it, and it comes right out. Put this over here in our parts tray so we don't lose it. Now, to get this out, this comes right off. Next, we're going to want to remove the hands. And right here, I'm just using this set of Bergeron plastic holders. One side's flat, one side's curved. A whole bunch of different sizes for pocket watches, all the way down to your small ladies' movements, like that. Now, there's many different ways to take off hands. We all have our different habits or get into a comfort zone. Mine, I like these. And what they are is they go on there, clip down, and pull off. And these edges will touch the dial, so we definitely want to protect the dial. And with that, we just use a dial protector. Something like this. And we'll tuck this . Okay, I just went ahead and straightened out the hand so I could get a better angle on it. Then what I do is usually just try to take the second hands off, the sweep second off first. Like so. And then remove the hour and the minute hand. There. Now this dial does looks like it has been redone. Next, what we're going to want to do is take off that redone dial. What we're going to find is some screws. And what we can do is put this in the curved part so it does not smash down on the dial. It rests on the edges. Then go ahead and remove these screws. You're going to want to go ahead and make sure that your screw heads are sharp and straight so that it actually fits down in the holes so there's not any slipping. And for whatever reason, mine are rather dull. Then remove the screw. Definitely suggest, if you're going to be working on wristwatch, pocket watches, to practice picking up smaller items with the tweezers, because it is a skill. Tweezers can fling items quite a ways away from you. Okay, before we do that, let's go ahead and just remove that dial. That way, we're not going to scratch it. So now what you got to do is there's two tiny screws on the side of this. One right here, and another on the opposite side, right there. And we're going to need to remove those because they're pressed in perpendicular to the dial feet. And that is what's holding the dial in. I mean, here's one that's about 10 inches long. And you definitely want to take them all the way out, because you learn the hard way, if you leave them in there and you go and you wash them and you put them in an ultrasonic cleaner or anything like that, they can fall out. And then you'll be looking everywhere for them. Chances are they'll probably be in your first wash at the bottom. Just get a magnet, and there's the back of the dial with the dial feet. Go ahead and clean that up later. Let's go ahead and start disassembling this 17 jewel manual watch. And our hour wheel and our washer. Now, a lot of people doing a lot of things to get this canyon pinion off. I've just been, over the years, been able to do it with my tweezer. Sometimes you'll need a tool. Some tools like this, where you have and you just put it up on there. The end will then grip around it, close, and pull it off for you. However, it's just easier for me to do it this way. And it just comes right off. Well, first things first, I usually like to remove the balance wheel after we've wound it down. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this is more difficult than I thought, filming and taking apart a watch. And then on most of these, they'll be on the side, a little indentation that you can get your tweezers up underneath, and you just gently pry it up. Be careful, because there is a spring on the other end that can bend and will bend. And that's your hairspring. And balance wheel. There we go. Sorry about knocking the camera. First time here. First time doing this on camera. Usually just in my own little world. Able to move it, look at it as at any angle I want. not worried about what anyone else sees. So the bigger screws, what you want to do is get a bigger head on your screwdriver so that it'll fit it. And now this plate's good to come off. However, this wheel is underneath it, and we do not want to try to lift that up while that wheel is still there, because it will bend it. And or brake pivots, jewels, a whole bunch of fun stuff that will then need to be repaired before the watch will be in working order. Same thing on this. There's going to be little indentations on the side. You just lift. It should come up easily. Do not need to pry. Now let's remove this sweep second. And it just went flying. But you can see there is some debris on this. Which will hinder the performance of the watch. Just go ahead and remove that. And these are reverse threaded. Oh man. That wheel is reverse threaded, so it would be lefty tighty, right to loosen it. As you can see, that was holding this wheel down. And now there's another plate underneath our train bridge. So we're going to need to remove these two screws to get to the escapement wheel and the other wheels and the pallet fork. Man, stop blocking the camera and hitting the camera. Man, I'm sorry, guys. Kind of want to keep your screws organized. There it is. And we will be removing that cap jewel right there later, right before we clean it. Now we can get our escapement wheel out. And then we're going to go ahead and get the pallet fork bridge off so we can get the pallet fork out. And once again, there's a side to pry it off with. Be careful because you don't want to snap the pivot on the pallet fork. And then as you can see, this is dirty. It came off in one piece. So those pivots are definitely dirty. What you do here, just hold it down, pull it at a 90-degree angle, and it should just come right out. But you do want to inspect it to see if there's any burrs or anything on it that could be stopping it from performing. If you do that, you just got to put it on the lathe and turn it down a little bit. Now we'll take off this plate. Okay, it does look like the click spring is possibly holding this down. So go ahead and take this off. And be careful because there is a spring underneath it. And it can pop out. And the spring is right there. There. And most of the time you can just leave that screw in there. And there's the mainspring. You take another wheel out and flip it around. Now what we're going to do is just take off these cap jewels, pop these screws off to get to there. Okay, so for whatever reason it is stuck in there. And it just fell out. All right, next remove some of these cap jewels. Just go ahead and get some pith wood. We can lay it down on a flat surface that is soft and not gonna damage it.